Digital audio health by Cymatrax.
It's Al Cole from CBS Radio, and I want to tell you about a Renaissance woman who excels at everything she puts her innovative mind to. And you know, I'm going to start it out like this. What would you say if I told you that I was going to introduce you to a lady who is a very successful business entrepreneur and a world-class creative force as a realtor, interior designer, hosts charity golf tournaments for wildlife, and is the cutting-edge author of the stunning Magical Forces Within? Well, Al, I'd say make the introduction, brother. I've just been dying to learn some of all of those things from somebody who sounds like a real magnetic lady. Well, you're in luck because not only can you learn about the fabulous life accomplishments of this woman, whose name happens to be Rhonda Grant, but week in and week out, Rhonda will introduce you to some of the most exciting guests on the planet as she hosts her own awesome podcast, The Rhonda Grant Show, on Contact Talk Radio. Week to week, Rhonda skillfully weaves the magical forces within her with the extraordinary discoveries in the sometimes ordinary lives of her guests who blossom before your very eyes through the guidance and know-how of such a skilled and sensitive host as Rhonda Grant. You got to check it out. Check out all the action at rhondagrantauthor.com. That's rhondagrantauthor.com to witness the extraordinary discoveries in otherwise ordinary lives. And I hear some of you asking right now, well, Al, how do you know all this? I'll tell you. It's because I weave some of the same magic on my own nationally syndicated show called People of Distinction. It's all about humanity at its best. Every guest with extraordinary things to say about the magical forces within life itself. Get it? So check them out. The Rhonda Grant Show, Extraordinary Discoveries in Ordinary Lives, and People of Distinction, created by me, Al Cole from CBS Radio, now hosted by my amazing son, Benji Cole. You can check out People of Distinction on Apple Music or email me for exciting updates on my music and my books too, especially Romance for Women on Amazon. Email me at al@alcoholic.com. You heard me right. That's ALCOLEHOLIC.com. And I really want to thank my CBS radio listeners for coming up with that handle, Alcoholic. Seems like from day one, my listeners have been saying, Al, we love what you're doing there, brother. In fact, we're hooked on it. We're alcoholics. So here we go in classic form with the swing of a golf club as she hosts another charity golf tournament for wildlife and another incomparable Rhonda Grant show. So all together, everybody, here's Rhonda.
Thank you for tuning in. You are listening to the Rhonda Grant Show right now, and I have many great guests on the show, and I have a great guest coming up. If you've been searching for a deeper meaning in your life, go to Amazon and pick up my book, Magical Forces Within. You know, we're all ordinary people having extraordinary experiences. And we have a fantastic guest on the show today, Maxine MacLennan, a singer-songwriter from Carnegie, Prince Edward Island, Canada. And we're going to find out about her extraordinary experiences. Maxine began singing on stage at the age of 11 when she was asked to sing in her dad's band. Since then, she has won talent shows and has received nominations and awards. Maxine is passionate about her music, and it helps heal her and others. During the pandemic, she has played and sang to people around the world right from her kitchen. She does interviews, podcasts, and live performances on numerous venues. She performs solo with her duo partner, Norman Stewart, and a 4-piece group, Treble With Girls. Maxine lives with husband Stephen and has a daughter, Jessica. Maxine loves to write about the love she has for people and the places in her life. Welcome to the Rhonda Grant Show, Maxine.
Thank you very much, Rhonda, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Was there anyone or anything that helped guided you on the path that you're on right now?
Yeah, I would have to say my parents, my mom and dad, got me started at the age of 11 in my dad's country band. And I was put on the stage on New Year's Eve to a full house, and it was in a bar, and
Yes.
I was pretty nervous.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal to me for an
Yes.
11-year-old.
Well, yeah, it's a big deal anyway. But to be 11 years old, it's even a bigger deal because you see how big the world is when you look out and all those faces are watching you sing. And how did that shape your music? How long did you continue to play? Or sorry, how long did you continue to sing?
I'm still singing.
You're still singing.
Yeah. So all my life, I've been involved with or in music, either nationally, internationally, locally, whatever form or direction. It led me. I went.
Mm-hmm. And who taught you how to play guitar?
I'm self-taught.
Yes.
Yeah.
And was it just from watching your dad? Did he play guitar?
He did play guitar, but no, guitar it's something. Okay, I don't think you can learn it from watching. I think you have to learn it by actually playing. So, I mean, I looked up chords and things like that, and got some books and stuff. And they say when you know 3 chords, you can play any country song there is, but not necessarily true. You have to find the right key and to sing it in. So you have to learn more than 3 chords.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, sometimes there's more than 3 chords in a song, and there's also the handy capo.
Yep, which I defer to a lot.
Oh, yes. I mean, many musicians do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a time in your music career that you moved away from music?
Yeah, there was. What year was it? 1997. I went through a separation and divorce, and I left the national scene at that point. I was very, very close to signing a label deal, and I had a 6-year-old, and I just thought, you know what? My daughter is way more important to me than any kind of career in any job. So I pulled back. I didn't sign the deal and bought a house in a neighboring town. And my daughter and I moved there, and I have never regretted one day of doing that.
Oh, of course not. And what brought you back? It takes a lot of courage, doesn't it? It takes a lot of courage to do that.
It's very scary, yes.
It's very scary when you're heading out on your own with your child. And so the less important things and some important things fall away while you have to find a new identity, because sometimes when you separate from someone, you are a couple, and then when you are single, you have to find yourself again, really.
You really do. And I think it defines, the courage that you have and the, just what you're made of. I think that your integrity comes out, and as I said, your courage and your, stick-to-itiveness, and just making a way for you and your child. It's the mama bear instinct, I think.
Oh, yes, it is. And it really you start defining who you are, what you'll stand for and what you won't stand for. And you're fighting for more than just yourself now. You're fighting for your child as well.
Yes,
and
by yourself.
By yourself. And so I commend you for that. I mean, it's very difficult. And unless you've been through something like that, it's really hard to grasp how hard that might be. So I really commend you for that. So for that period of time, you went away from your music and playing guitar because you had more important things and matters to take care of. And once that you started to feel more comfortable as a single mom with your child? When did you start going back to music?
Well, I guess I always sort of, I never really strayed from it locally. I did though, like on the national scene, like doing showcases and
Right.
traveling, that sort of thing.
Right.
TV
Okay.
shows and, charting to radio and those kind of things. But I kept my fingers in the pie around the local scene, and I would do benefit concerts for people who needed help, fundraising concerts for organizations or charities that needed help, and paying gigs that helped me financially a little bit because
Oh yeah.
I'm a single mom, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and kept my musical beast fed that way.
Yes. And when you were on stage playing, what were the top 3 cover songs that you like to sing or people requested for you to sing that our listeners might know?
I used to love and still do Highway 101.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I sang, and I still do sing a
Uh-huh.
lot of their songs. Somewhere Tonight, The Bed You Made for Me, Walk and Talk and Cry and Barely Beaten, Broken Heart, just any of their songs. And today I still like doing those live, and people love hearing them because they don't get to hear them very often. People don't, as a rule, don't sing a lot of Highway 101.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other artists that you like?
Just trying to think of who I love. Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm. What would have been one of the songs that you would have sang that Dolly Parton?
I like singing Yellow Roses and
Oh, beautiful.
and sometimes Jolene. Coat of Many Colors I actually recorded with my dad on one of his albums. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's wonderful. So other than music, what do you like to do?
I like to read, spend time with my family and my daughter and my husband. Like to go for walks. I was a big, an avid gym fan. I used to take all kinds of fitness classes before I was actually in a head-on collision 4 years ago this November, and it was pretty bad, pretty nasty, and they weren't really sure if I was going to walk again, or if, actually my doctor said she didn't know how I lived through it, because people that sustain the injuries that I sustained usually don't make it. So I used to go to the gym a lot before that, but now I just do low impact stuff like walking and elliptical training, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And how long was your recovery back from that?
Oh gosh. So it will be 4 years ago this November, and I'm going to say it took about 3 years, because I'm just now starting to feel the way I felt before I was in the crash.
Okay, so physically, the way you used to feel, or emotionally as well?
Physically,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Emotionally, I'll probably never be the exact same.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. It really stops you in your tracks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was T-boned years ago, and
Sorry to hear that, Rhonda.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a long road back. I mean, I didn't have anything broken in my body, but it's the trauma of it, it's the impact of it, it's the suddenness of it. You certainly didn't plan that, and it changes your life in an instant. And when your life is changed in an instant, then you have to come back from that. So yeah, I'm sorry that you went through that, and you had some broken bones that had to heal.
I did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of broken bones. There was 14. from my neck right down to both my legs.
Oh, boy.
Pretty much everything in between.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I'm sorry to hear that, Maxine. I'm glad you're with us.
Thanks, I'm glad too.
Yeah. You're listening to the Rhonda Grant Show right now with my guest, Maxine MacLennan, singer-songwriter from Prince Edward Island, Canada. How may people connect with you?
They can go to my website, Rhonda, at
Okay.
www.maxinemusic.ca.
Okay, and so there you have it, Maxine Music. Oh, and at your website, can they download music from there?
Yes, they can buy my albums there. Yes, download the music. You'd have to go to iTunes or Spotify for that.
Mm-hmm. I know that I went.
Albums.
Yeah, I went and I could click on and hear you singing different songs.
Yeah, you can hear samples, I guess, of the songs, and hopefully that'll entice people to buy them.
Yeah, that's right. What extraordinary discoveries have you found in your life, Maxine?
My daughter showed me so much since she's been born. She's taught me so much. The mother and daughter or mother-child love is extraordinary, I believe.
Yes.
If you're a good mom. And Jessica is my rainbow baby. I lost a child before Jess was born, and so she's a rainbow baby.
Oh,
and dear. I cannot imagine my life without Jess in it. She's taught me so much about the way the world is today, like from her perspective, because my generation is different than hers, and she was brought up in a world. I mean, I brought her up in it, but she learned so much from differently in school than we all did. About, just for instance, like she went to university for 7 years and has 2 degrees, and I feel like I went to university with her because I took every test with her, prayed every day that she was taking one, mom and her.
Oh, yes.
And she graduated on the dean's list, but for both degrees. But she took psychology and a Bachelor of Arts and then Bachelor's of Social Sciences or social, I guess it's social sciences. And she taught me like about the different views of different lifestyles. Okay.
Okay.
Like the indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
I know I won't say this right, but the LGBT2, and I can't remember all the rest of it, and I apologize to those people listening. I'm like the older generation, so I can't remember all of that whole line. But all of those people, all of that group of people, Jess is really an advocate for and has made me one. Just because I wasn't brought up in that my parents didn't understand different lifestyles, and so it kind of spilled over into my generation. But when Jess's generation came along, it all changed, and I'm so happy now that I'm in the generation where our children are teaching us, and we can teach our parents, if they are still with us, about inclusion and loving and being kind to everyone on the planet. So she has taught me all kinds of, oh my gosh, she's just taught me so much, Rhonda.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they do. And I'm hearing the same thing in some podcasts where we talk about inclusivity. We talk about kindness, and and I always say that kindness is it's so outreaching, because we don't know when we're kind to someone today, and if that's going to spur them to be kind to someone else, kind to their children, and their children then are kind at school. I mean,
Right.
the act of kindness, I think, is underestimated. And I think that if, and I find too that the person who is the most is unapproachable is the one who needs kindness the most.
The most. Exactly.
They need it the most.
Yep.
And because,
Yep.
A lot of people, they don't want to share their life or what hurts them with a lot of people. But I think that if you notice when people, and I'm speaking to our listeners, if you notice if people are not doing well or that they seem to be unapproachable, sometimes a kind word will change that day for them, may change decisions that they had made that they'll unmake. And I think that if we, the stronger ones, can help those types of people, that our world is going to be a better place. It really is.
I truly believe in that, and so does my daughter. If everyone in the world picked one person to be kind to, just imagine that small gesture every day, how different the world would be.
It would
makes
change
such
the
an
world.
impact.
Mm-hmm.
It would change the world.
Mm-hmm. It would change the world. And they do a World Meditation Day where they meditate on countries that aren't doing as well as we are, and they can measure the significance of that meditation. And I think that Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra headed up a World Meditation Day, and it's incredible. As human beings, we don't realize that the power that we have to help people, even from afar, because our energy is not just in our body. Our energy goes out and around our body. And if we are protecting ourselves, we're protecting our energy, and it's hard for others to feel comfortable around us when we are not living in joy and bliss, and our energy is calm and welcoming to others who may pass us by. And they might get a feeling from you that is good, and it might make their day. Sometimes we don't even have to say anything, but really cast our energy out in a good way.
I truly believe that. Yep. I'm a big believer in the power of positive thinking, and I have all kinds of angel books here, and the law of attraction books, and yeah, I'm a big believer in energy fields. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it makes such a difference. Do you feel that you've been guided on your mission in life or called? And I'm referring again back to your music. It doesn't have to be your music. I mean, I play music. I have a guitar, and I've done a lot with music, but I certainly don't do that every day. I've got many things that I do. So, with referring to your life, Maxine, do you feel that you've been gifted and called to your journey, to your walk?
Yes, I do, Rhonda. I truly believe that music was supposed to be something that I did in my life that was meant to help other people in numerous ways. I never really felt like this strong a pull from any other of the things that I've done in my life. I've been a youth worker, and it was very meaningful work.
Yes.
But I never felt my heart always went back to music. And, I drove a school bus. I lived on a farm where I ran a bed and breakfast for years in my first marriage. And I never really felt that that was my calling. I know that I'm a great mom. I know that. I've been told that, and my daughter is living proof of that. And I'm not, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything like that, but I
You're just
know
telling
what
it
good
how
moms.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what good moms do, and I know what not so good moms do, because I was a youth worker. But yeah, I feel like being a mom and continuing on with this musical journey is what I was put here to do. And I'm very happy doing both, and being a wife, of course, to my now husband, who pretty much made me believe in love again. I left my first marriage thinking love was kind of a sham. Didn't really believe in it.
Well, and I know with music, and when I play a song, either one that I've written or one that I'm covering, is it gives me a feeling in my body like nothing else has. And when you have that feeling that you are performing and you're performing that song and the emotion of that song, I think that people really appreciate that, and that they love that. And that's what they're attracted to. And that's why they come out to see you, is because they want to feel what you are projecting.
Yeah, I agree with that statement 100%. I tell my songs as story. Like, I sing my songs as stories. I live each line. I'm actually the person who's singing that song. Whoever wrote it, I'm taking over that role for that one performance that I'm doing, and I'm projecting that role of the person in the song to the people that are listening, and that's what I believe makes people relate and can enjoy the music and come out to see you, over and over.
Yeah, and I remember one time that, and you and I have talked, and maybe we talked about this, I'm not quite sure, but I remember that I went to my friend's birthday party. It was outdoors, and anybody that had guitars were welcome to bring them. And so, of course, I was packing my guitar, and people request me to sing some songs, but I had just learned at that time, Traveling Soldier by the Dixie Chicks. And I thought, well, I'm going to try it out. We're among friends here. There wasn't a whole lot of people around. And I sang that song. And there was somebody behind me that was really loving that song. And she was really appreciating it. And it encouraged me while I was singing that song, that somebody who I couldn't see, but I could feel her and I could hear her enjoying that song. And it was at the time in the party where we were asked to go inside, and there was a person, and I didn't know this person, and he came to me, and he was in the army. He was in the Canadian Army, and he thanked me very much for singing that song. And he really felt that it made a difference to him, and it reminded him of being in the Army and the loneliness. And so it doesn't matter what song you're singing and the crowd that you're singing in. If you reach one person, just like kindness, if you reach one person, and I was flabbergasted. I didn't realize that I could affect people through my music.
Oh, very much so. And that was worth it right there for you to sing that song.
Oh, yes.
That's what it's meant to do.
And do you sing any of the songs that you've written? Are your songs, are they stories?
Yeah. Every song that is on my newest album is one that I wrote or co-wrote, and I only co-wrote 2, actually 1.5. The rest are all mine, and they're either about people in my life or places in my life that I live and love. So yes, the story is behind, like, for instance, there's a song on there called Without You. And
Yes.
that is the song that I wrote after my mom passed. I had never, ever felt those kinds of feelings before. They were all new to me. It's about, losing her, and how, the minutes, the hours, the days, the weeks, how I felt during the kind of the transitions I was going through. So the first couple of verses in it are very relatable to everyone. You could take any really kind of situation, losing a love, a breakup. But the third verse takes you right into Mom's hospital room, where it mentions person of the cloth, like our priest, and there was a fiddler there playing. Mom loved the fiddle. And we also had Dolly Parton going in the background. Dolly was one of her favorite singers, her favorite singer. And all of us were there surrounding her at her bedside. And my best friend, or one of my best friends, was across the hall from Mom's hospital room in the chapel, which was pretty fitting because Mom was a devout Catholic. And Sheila was in there in the chapel with her 2 little girls, who are like children, like our children. And they're really, really close to us. And the oldest was on her knees, and she looked up at her mom and she said, "Mom, what shall I, what do I ask God for?" And my mom had COPD, so we were expecting a really harsh passage for Mom. But that never happened. Mom was a true mom right to the end, and she was having nothing of her children seeing her struggle. So she died very peacefully. But Brenna had asked her mom that question, and Sheila said, "Just ask God to help Mamie breathe easy." And all of that was unfolding at the same time, Rhonda. That's when Mom was passing.
Wow, that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're right. There are some unkind deaths that people do have because of breathing issues. Well, that's wonderful that she was praying at that same time. So, can I ask you, how is it very difficult for you to sing a song like Without You when it holds so meaning? Is it hard for you to keep your own emotions intact while you're singing it?
So after I wrote it, I no longer struggled with Mom's death.
Okay. It's cathartic, yeah.
I think cathartic, yeah. I think it was very much healing for me. And I was really proud to sing it because I knew Mom would be proud. So when I sing it, when I talk about it, it's harder than when I sing it.
Yeah,
actually.
you're used to singing it though, and you've put that and compartmentalized that in order to do that. But it is harder to talk about it, and we don't need to talk about that if that's difficult for you. I know it's difficult anytime to lose a loved one. But the fact of the matter, and the teaching to our listeners, if you've went through a death of a mom, a dad, a grandparent, or anyone in your life, even if you don't write songs like Maxine does or artists do, even if you journal about that, it helps you with the recovery process. It helps you also to say the things that you hadn't said that you want to say in order to heal from the loss that you're experiencing in your life. Because the thing is that we all are energy, and we miss. I had a woman that I knew a long time ago who lost her 3-year-old son, and she said the hardest thing for her is that she would never get that feeling back again of being hugged by her son. That's a really tough thing. But if you journal, if you write a song, if you write poetry, whatever venue you can do to heal yourself and speak to the person and to that energy that you're losing, have lost, look for and want more of, it really can help you. So
it absolutely can.
Mm-hmm. And these are very, very tender times that we've shared here, Maxine. And I am so pleased that you've come on the show. Can you let our audience know again where they may reach out, where they may find you, book you, or and if they want a CD, would you be able to mail them a CD?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. You can message me. My email is maxine@maxinemusic.ca. I'm on Facebook as Maxine MacLennan. You can download my tunes from Spotify or iTunes. You can go to my website. I'd be more than happy to mail you a CD from there. You can purchase it right on the site, and I'll get a notification, and I'll send the CD out to you. I would love it if you emailed me though, or messaged me on Messenger. I like to, have a little bit of a conversation and get to know a tiny little bit about the person that's listening to me, because everyone that does is important to me. Anybody that supports me is very important to me. So I like to, connect a little bit with them. So any of those places, I'm, on social media all the time. I have my phone on me all the time, and I'm connected that way as well.
Well, and one of the other things that you do, and I mentioned it in the introduction for you, is that you sit in your kitchen and you turn the video on and you play a song to your audience, which you have many followers, songs, and people listen. And through the pandemic, you found this to be a really good venue for you.
I did. I really did.
And you're enjoying it.
Yeah. I kind of, there's a lot of really bad things about COVID, and there still are a ton of really bad things, but there's a lot of really good things came out of it. People were kinder to one another. People were more tolerant. Artists like myself found venues online that supported us, like the Ultimate Online Nova Scotia Kitchen Party. I go on there or live from my own Facebook page and share it to all of these other music venues. I've been on music sites from Australia to England to Ireland, Scotland, different places in the US. I think California. I did a podcast with a guy from California. I'm doing another show tonight online at 9:00 with Rebecca's Musician Palooza, and she supports indie artists, and I'm going to play a couple of songs live there with her tonight. So yes, I was at home during lockdown, and my husband works, he's a trades worker in Alberta, so he's rotational, and he couldn't get home for like almost 8 weeks, because he usually does 2 and 2, so he's there for 2 and home for 2. So I was here alone, going out 1 day a week like we were told to do, just to get the mail, get my groceries, any medication that I might need or whatever I needed at the drugstore. And that's what I did. I followed those rules. So the days became really long for me, and nobody was visiting. We did some phone calls and Skype things like that and FaceTimes, but not the same. And I watched a lot of TV and wrote some songs. And then I got thinking, you know what? I need a purpose I need a purpose because these days are too long and it's too quiet. So I went online live a couple of times, did 2 or 3 songs, and more people kept joining all the time. And then I found a couple of these music venues, so I went on there, and more people kept joining, and the comments kept coming, and I started doing more songs and staying on longer until I was up to an hour, sometimes over an hour, and it would take me another hour and a half to click like or message back all the people that had commented, because I will do that every single time. I'll like back what they've said, or if they've asked a question, I'll answer it. I sold a lot of CDs that way, and it became people like, when are you going back on? When are you doing this again? And so it became a little thing, and
they looked forward to it. Yeah, they looked forward to it.
And musician people with like yourself, like that have podcasts and shows, started getting in touch with me, and would I do this and would I do that? And I was, oh my goodness, this is great.
Yeah,
this is a whole new world for me.
Can you spell your name for the listeners, because they're going to spell MacLennan incorrectly, probably, just like I've done a couple of times. So Maxine, Maxine, and can you spell your last name?
Yep. M as in Mary, A, C as in cloud, L, E, N, N as in no, A, N as in no.
There you go.
MACLENNAN.
There you go. Thank you so much for being a guest on my show, Maxine. It was wonderful to learn more about you and touch on some subjects that I know that the listeners may be able to relate to themselves. And for that, they are very appreciative of that. So thank you very much for joining me.
Well, Rhonda, it's been a true pleasure getting to know you over these past few days and whatnot. I feel like we're kind of kindred spirits here. There's one thing, if I have time, I would like to add to the conversation that we had about my mom there.
Yes.
Just to anyone who's listening, if you get the chance, chance is the wrong word, if you get the privilege of being with your parent or someone significant in your life at their time of death, and it is a privilege, always tell them thank you. Whisper in their ear. If they're not coherent, that's fine. My mom passed away after we had said thank you to Mom for being the great mom that she was and teaching. That's what I leaned in, and I thanked her in her ear, and I thanked her for being a great mom to me and teaching me everything that she could. Because when my dad passed, we didn't get that opportunity. It was quick, and he died in his room at a nursing home while I was standing up. And I thought I was going to have some time with my dad to thank him as well. And because there's things in life as parents and children that you want to apologize for or you want to thank them for. So if you have the privilege to do that, don't wish to wash away the privilege. Take it and embrace it.
Well, thank you for that. That's very good advice. Thank you so much. Theme song coming up for the Rhonda Grant Show, Sun on the Water, is composed and performed by my friend John Park Wheeler. This is Rhonda Grant with the Rhonda Grant Show, author of Magical Forces Within, Extraordinary Discoveries in an Ordinary Life, inviting you to look for the magical forces within yourself today and every day. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to the Rhonda Grant Show with your host, Rhonda Grant. If you would like to find out more information about Rhonda and her upcoming guests and the work that she does, go to her website, rhondagrantauthor.com. That's rhondagrantauthor.com.